Welcome, everyone, to the third episode now of the Boss Key podcast. I am your co host, McQuack306. I am joined today, as always, with Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse Fergoso, also known as Jebby G in most gaming platforms.
What's up, man? How you been?
Good, good. This has been a very exciting week overall in gaming, at least for me, and I think for a lot of people. A lot of conventions and announcements were made this week. My goodness.
Yeah, it was a really good week. A lot of good Nintendo stuff, good PC, mostly PC, but console also with a new update to an old classic, and just overall good news. I mean, there's always going to be those small little blotches in the gaming space, but overall, a lot of good things are coming our way for
Yeah.
anybody on any platform.
Yeah, I had a really huge smile on my face this week when a lot of stuff was announced. I was really giddy at work when certain announcements were coming out. I had to contain myself in my office. I had to be, I was getting very excited. My cube mate didn't play the games that I was talking about often, but I was just really getting excited. He's going like, "What the heck's wrong with this guy?" And I'm like, hey, it's just a lot of good news on some classics. I'm a huge sucker myself um, for anything retro, reminding of the times when I was younger, as I feel like a lot of people are, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of our listeners they enjoy what we're talking about only because a lot of it has to do with memories. A lot of it has to do with like, man, I remember when I was a kid and I opened up my N64 box, or I remember playing Chrono Trigger for the first time and thinking this is the greatest game ever. And it, for a lot of people, it still is. For a lot of people, it's still like their best game ever. So retro
I,
gaming, I think for both of us, is always gonna be there. We're always gonna get that itch to play that Metroid game again, or that itch to play, something from whatever era we were when we were 5, when we were 10, when we were 15. There's always that game that can bring us back to that time and be like, yeah, I remember waking up super early in the morning at 6 a.m., turning on the PC and playing Sims for like 5 hours. And
oh,
all I did was create my character.
nice. Oh my gosh. And then you had to like sometimes some people use like the unlimited money cheats or whatever to try to get everything, and then they
Mother
make their
load.
the mother load, and then they end up having these gigantic houses and just watching the like, no, I don't want this fridge. I want the ballin' fridge. I want the super fridge that just has like a little bit more man, I remember playing The Sims a lot too. But like what was man, I know you were trying to live like a simulation, but what's the end game? We're just living house. We played dolls. We were basically playing dolls.
That's pretty much what Sims is.
we were we were playing dolls back then without actually saying we were playing dolls. We were just playing dolls in the virtual world.
It's crazy. It's crazy how some games have like their niche. They have like their gameplay style, and they could be on their
Yeah.
fifth, sixth, seventh iteration, and it's still the same, and people are okay with it, and it's fine because that's what they go to for that. When you think of Sims, you're not thinking some revolutionary like, oh well, I wish there was some shooting in this game. No,
No,
you you
no.
want you want simulation. That's what it is. The Sims. You want something
Yeah.
to imitate, hobbies, real life, something like that. So, um,
Do
it's
not come
crazy.
into a Mario game and expect weapons and guns. Like
I don't
don't
know.
play a
That's Mario
Mario game
Kart.
and expect that. Oh, you're right. Oh, with the turtle, you're right. Mario Kart. Actually, I'm a bigger fan of actually Diddy Kong Racing. I like that one just a little bit better. I don't know why. Something about balloons and using missiles and like the adventure mode that it came with. Um, I didn't. Mario Kart was fantastic for multiplayer, but I was a Diddy Kong racing guy.
Dude, I just bought Diddy Kong Racing for the DS. Like it just came in
What?
3 days ago.
How is it? And
It's
what else are you
fun.
playing, by the way? With this, you got Diddy Kong racing. What else you got?
Yeah, well, I got Diddy Kong Racing because I was talking to someone on Twitter and they brought up Diddy Kong and they're like, yeah, I'm playing on my DS. I'm like, man, let me look how much it is. And somebody was selling it on eBay for like $13, complete in box. So I bought it for the DS and it's just as good as I remembered playing on N64. But a
Ooh.
little bit cleaner graphics. They just cleaned it up a bit, but that's it's still good. It's still Diddy Kong Racing. But
Oh, you
right now,
swooped on that.
yeah,
Nice.
13 bucks, like $2 tax,
Easy.
shipping $15 in total. But yeah, it was cheap.
There you go. There you go. And then what else are you playing besides reliving your Diddy Kong racing past?
Diddy Kong Racing. Uh,
Ready. And I still
um,
remember that bad guy, Whiz Pig. That was always the
yeah.
funniest, dude. That was always the funniest villain. He could fly. He can do all these. He could fly, and he always had that laugh. Like it was. Oh gosh.
Right
So good.
now, this week I was trying to finish up Mass Effect 2, which I stayed up last night till 1:30 in the morning to finish it. And dude, it's now one of my favorite games of all time. I did not expect it to be that good.
Ooh,
Um,
dude.
Mass Effect 2 is a huge step up from Mass Effect 1. Like many of you guys may already know who've already played the trilogy like 10 years ago. I'm barely catching up, and I luckily I haven't been spoiled by it. But the choices that you make throughout the game and trying to befriend or have these crewmates follow you to the end, literally to the end, was really good. I had I don't know if it's spoilers, but if you've never played Mass Effect 2, which I
Spoiler
would
alert.
understand, uh, try to skip maybe like 5 minutes in, but I'm gonna keep it to a minimum. I only lost one squad mate, which I didn't really care about for this dude, Zaid. He didn't make it through the game, so everybody else I was able to save, and I found out the huge plot that's going on, and now I'm in the pickle of do I just continue and blast through Mass Effect 3 or do I give it that 1 month space? Because Ghost of Tsushima came out with
Oh,
the
director's
Iki
cut.
Island expansion. Yeah, I'm kind of digging that one. I'm kind of thinking of giving Mass Effect a breather and playing that through, and then going back to Mass Effect and finishing the fight against the Reapers. So that's currently what I've been playing, and I currently beat it. So I rarely beat a game because there's so many games, so little time, and a lot of the games that I play are very like repetitive, like Destiny. You have that light grind. You have Halo, where it's typically just multiplayer that I like to play too. So that's what I've been playing. What's on your plate?
Oh my goodness, my plate is full too, and gaming is like one of the easiest things to have a backlog on because so many things come out. So many things come out either together or you got to do pauses because sometimes in the 30s you sometimes gotta time sometimes takes a different toll, like whether it's life, school, work. Um, Anything that's going on. But this week on Steam, Tetris Effect Connected just came out, and this is the way to play Tetris right now. It is so good. Like I came home from my class last Wednesday. It was at 10:30 at night. Um, no, pardon me. It was Thursday. It was last Thursday. Came home at 10:30 and I was ready to just download everything that just came out. First off, I wanted to get the Quake re-release that was announced this week, but I also picked up Tetris Effect Connected, and oh my goodness, it was well worth it. I think you were already telling me before how how powerful like the music and just a new refreshing way to play Tetris as you're moving the controls. The music changes with the beat of your controls, and I even have people watching in the background, and they were just vibing with the music as you're playing. And it's still just Tetris. It's still good old Tetris, and it has like a multiplayer of it has a single player element that's awesome. So I've been enjoying the life with Tetris Effect right now. I'm gonna get it on the Switch too for it to go. Um, but then the other game that I've been absorbed into right now is the Quake Remaster that just got announced this week at QuakeCon, which is going on this weekend. Everything Bethesda and everything id Software from the past is coming out, and right now Quake is back. Yes, I have beaten this game already, I know, but a new version just came out and they remastered everything.
So, what's in the remastered for those who may not know or keep up, and why is Quake that big of a deal? For me, I've never played Quake. That's
Ooh.
something in my blind spot. So, like, let us know why should we be hyped for Quake, and what's in store for people who do play it on any pretty much any platform right now.
Oh my goodness, my friend, let me tell you about Quake. It is a legendary first-person shooter from id Software, the currently Bethesda, but id Software. Back in the days, these are the same people who also created the Doom series. Again, my beloved Doom series that I love so much as well. It started off with the it started off with Wolfenstein, and then it went to Doom, which revolutionized it then. But then you have Quake, which revolutionized it again. Came out in 1996. It's an OG game, but it is old school. But right now, Quake is one of the and in its time, and still is today, it is 1,000% playable today. It's one of the best shooters out there, and it is the foundation for so many of the games that are out today. All of your Call of Duties, all of the current Quakes or the current Dooms, or even GoldenEye, everything. A lot of games took things from Quake. From even it was even known as the Quake Engine at the time, and Quake Engine powered so many games in the future. It is a hallmark in time. It's the granddaddy, one of the granddaddies of first-person shooters out there, and they just cleaned it up. They revitalized all the visuals. It's almost available now on every single console. It has been re-released on PS. It's been re-released on PC. It's now on the Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X, also on Game Pass. So there's almost no way that you cannot play this. It's very difficult to not play it unless you literally don't have a game console. That's like the only way you can't play it. And I was so happy to hear that it came out on. I was so happy to hear that it came out on my PC as an update. I didn't have to buy it again. I already had the original 55 megabyte file, but it got updated to a 2 gig file. And with this Quake, it's the whole package. You get everything. You get Quake in its original state. You get you get 4 different expansions. It came out with 2 expansions that was originally released, Scourge of Armagon and Disillusion of Eternity. There's also 2 additional episodes of Dimensions of the Past and Dimension of the Machine, which are more updated from the new company. Everything is updated from the visuals. It includes the whole soundtrack from Nine Inch Nails.
Oh,
It was Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails composed the entire soundtrack, but because of legal reasons, for some reason in the past, if you bought it back then, if you bought it more recently, before the remake, it wasn't included. You had to play the game like in silent. You had to go through like other manners to get a soundtrack, and they added quality of life things to this version of Quake. They added a weapon wheel. Now, obviously, just like Doom, like the new Doom games, they put the weapon wheel, and that already makes the game 10,000 times better and more fun. And you also get to look around everywhere, because back then you used to have to hold a button to look around everywhere, but now you have free mouse control, at least for the PC version. You'll be using the other stick for console versions. And it is, again, the reason that I have the memories with it, because I did not originally play it in the original PC release that it came out. I played it for the first time as part of my N64 for Quake 64.
Oh wow!
And
So it's
and
still the same one. Like the Quake 64 is that just like a like quote unquote remaster on the N64 version, or did they add stuff to it?
No, it's actually, well, of course, because of the N64 cartridge they had to compress space, they had to do
Yeah.
things differently, but it's actually a bit of a different game because it actually uses different lighting compared to before. So a lot of the lights on the stages are changed, and the soundtrack is completely composed by a different person. So they did not use the Nine Inch Nails soundtrack. They used the soundtrack. They had it composed by a composer named Aubrey Hodges. He also did the Doom 64 soundtrack. So this guy apparently loves to work in 64s. He likes to work in the 64 games. But his soundtrack is more like, Nine Inch Nails and then the old Doom games were very metal focused, very fast,
Yeah.
like very, very fast pace on PC. Aubrey Hodges just takes you on a whole nother level, and he is more like calmer but scarier. Like he does the more haunting soundtracks. So it sounds more like you're gonna get crazy weird sounds, baby crying sounds in the background, cat sounds, like, and he just knows how to make it like a haunting experience. And you know what? I'm just gonna throw in an extra thing about this new Quake remaster. They even have add-on mods, and one of the mods is to play the game as it looked like on N64.
That's pretty
So,
crazy.
so
That I actually like that.
I get to play it the way it was on the N64 with the N64 soundtrack. So, um, and then also like another huge difference between that Quake and Quake 64 is they had a level select option in the original Quake, but in Quake 64 the levels just kept going. There wasn't like a level difficulty select option at that time. It was just like, hey, pick your difficulty from the menu. And of course, I get this because again, limitations. N64 cartridges can't hold so much. But this version of Quake, I encourage everyone to see where FPSs got a lot of their ideas from back then. Um, from the people from John Romero and John Carmack back in the days of id Software, and it uses such a limited team back then too. Game developing teams were way tinier back then compared to what they are today. Today is like a big like cinematic masterpiece that needs needs a lot of people. So the work that these guys did and how they revolutionized first person shooters for everyone in the future is astounding work, and this is a way that kids or adults who never got a chance to experience this can do it, and it's updated with the quality of life things that make it closer to today's games more than they were back then. So I am hooked on it. I'm gonna play more Quake after the podcast today. I will not lie on that. It's that darn good.
And here I thought that Quake 64 was a different game, like Doom 64, or I thought it was, yeah, I thought it was a different game because Doom 64 is a different game from Doom. Um,
Yes,
but
they
Quake
low
64,
key
yeah.
they low key called Doom 64 Doom 3, like the real Doom 3, before Doom 3 actually got announced. Because it could have been. It was a continuation. The Doom 64 was a continuation of the story, so I don't know why they didn't just call it Doom 3, but, well, and it's 64 time. We got to slap a 64 on whatever we got. Because that was marketing back then.
That's actually just strict Nintendo marketing too, because anything that was like, I guess their console, their gimmick, that's pretty much what it is. You know, Super Nintendo, Super Castlevania, or you know,
Yep. Super Castlevania, and I'm surprised they didn't. I'm surprised they didn't title Resident Evil 2 Resident Evil 2 64. Like they just added on the end. Like I'm all like that would have been funny. I was like,
they had
wait, so
Super Castlevania, Super Mario. That was like their super line, and then they did something with the Wii U, where they would add the U for some reason at the end. They had Zombie U, they had New Super Mario Brothers U.
yep.
It just that was their shtick was, let's just add whatever, super, and people will buy it. I mean, majority of the games that came out still were good, regardless on Super Nintendo. But yeah, 64, Doom 64, Quake 64. I think there was a Mega Man 64. I'm not quite sure, but I
I'm
think there
not
was
sure if it
also
was called.
Castlevania 64.
Yes, yes, and yes. And I'm not sure what the Quest. Yeah, you're right. Quest 64. There was a Castlevania 64, and then they released Castlevania Legacy of Darkness, which was the updated version of that. Pilot Wing 64. Um, are there any Switch names for like? Is there a Nintendo Switch game that has the actual name Switch in the title? I don't think so, right?
Um, Not that I know of. Nothing like, Super Mario Switch Up or something. I don't think there's any Switch game like that. I think there are stuff for like,
Yeah.
um what was it? The 3DS. I think the 3DS line had a bunch of those. Like, I know
Mhm.
for sure Metal Gear Solid 3D was there for Metal Gear Solid 3. They just added the 3D, They had a lot of the let's and in the DS also, like Resident Evil DS was for like Deadly Silent or something like that. Um
You're right on that one. Deadly Silence. And then and that's what it was called. And I'm all like, see what you did there, Nintendo. Sneaky.
yeah, they had also
Sneaky.
what was it? What's that army game from Nintendo?
Advance Wars, right?
Advance Wars DS, which was Dual Strike. So
Dual.
they like using their name into their games and just putting like the DS, okay, Dual Strike, uh, Deadly Silence, stuff like that. Just try to, I think even Castlevania had one, Dawn of Sorrow, but I mean, Castlevania DS, Dawn of Sorrow. That was their
Ah,
gimmick.
I think so. And even the advanced titles had that too. Super Mario Advance 1, 2, 3, and 4. and
Oh,
uh
it's true,
and
true.
and I think if I mean correct me if I'm wrong, I think Advance Wars is also a name from the Game Boy Advance.
Oh, I didn't notice that, but yeah, I think that's where it came from the Advance, like GBA.
Nintendo, I always love you, but man, you're so sneaky. You keep trying to you keep putting it on the name. You just hammered it home. What sneaky name putting you do, Nintendo?
Yeah, I think the Wii just had the laziest one, because I know like Resident Evil 4 just said Wii Edition. The Wii Edition. I think Call of Duty also had that like Wii Edition.
Wii Edition. Got it. Make sure Twilight Princess Wii Edition. Like they just slap Wii Edition. They're like, yeah, we're good. We don't need to do it anymore.
Um, but I remember talking, since we talked about last week, on Sega Genesis, and our favorite games from that era. I was thinking also, since I didn't really have a Super Nintendo. I actually didn't have a Super Nintendo growing up because I had the Sega Genesis, but my grandma
Ooh.
had a Super Nintendo, and
Hmm.
I would play it with the cousins and an uncle of mine there, and I was thinking, what was my favorite Super Nintendo game? Because like I said, I didn't really grow up with it, but the
Uh,
places that I would go to, like family members, they had that Super Nintendo. I was that
okay.
weird kid with the Sega Genesis in the family, but Super Nintendo was pretty much everywhere else. And I
Black
don't
sheep,
know,
man. You're the different one.
I don't know if you've heard of this game, but one of my favorite Super Nintendo games isn't even a Nintendo game. It's
Oh,
it's Cool Spot. Have you heard of this one?
I've heard of it. I've never played it, but I've heard of it.
So
I, I I've heard of it definitely.
Cool Spot is a weird game because it's about that red spot from the 7 Up logo,
Hmm.
and you're basically that logo. You're in a red spot with shades and sneakers because it's the 90s, and it's a platformer, and you're just basically going through the beach collecting other spots, I guess. And for some reason that game has always stuck with me. It has some like of course 90s music, you know, like oh that's so rad and stuff like that, but it has product placements of 7 Up cans, and it's a platformer. It's a pretty I mean from what I remember it was a difficult platformer, but that game I will always remember on the Super Nintendo, and for some reason we had it, and it's ingrained. I mean, you have your Super Metroids, your Link to the Past, and all these classics on the Super Nintendo. But my childhood favorite Super Nintendo game, even past Street Fighter, is that Cool Spot game, and I would highly recommend everyone just check it out. It's probably like very outdated looking, and you guys are gonna be like, "What is he on?" But that game got me through some good afternoons and a lot of summers, because that's when I would be at my grandma's playing this, was during the summer break. And I highly recommend you guys check it out. It was on Sega Genesis also, but I looked up some video because I had never known about the Sega Genesis version, and it's not as good in my opinion. It doesn't look as fun, but Super Nintendo Cool Spot, that's where it was at for me.
Oh my goodness! And that, if I'm correct, during the '90s there was a lot of licensed games coming out at that time. Licenses from like food companies, not just like Cool Spot, but like even like Chester Cheetah and Michael Jordan even had a game in the Super Nintendo. But like he was, I remember he was like running around in a haunted house. So like I was telling you
What?
that right, just throwing it out there. And but yeah, licensing games were huge, and that's awesome. That's like another like low key game. Like last week when I mentioned about Quackshot for the Genesis,
Yeah.
which I got Josh searching on the internet for. Now he's like, "What is this?" And I'm gonna look up Cool Spot now because you talked about that. Because I want to see what it was about. You grew up in Downey as well, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember a video store back then called Dina Video?
Yes.
That game,
I remember that place. I loved going there.
that game was actually probably there, and I've seen it many a times because it had a really small video game section when renting games was still a thing at the video stores, and it was always like there. I think it was there, but it was like a wall. But it was just a game that I never officially like rented or done anything. But like the name has been heard of, so it's not like I've never heard of the name. But I honestly never played it. So awesome, it held on to you in your memories.
Yeah, it's a childhood favorite of mine, and I'm kind of happy that it's not the typical like Super Metroid or Super Mario Kart and stuff like that. It's actually just one of those weird games that my grandma probably picked it up, just it was probably like cheap or something at the time. I don't know, but I'm happy they had it. I'm so happy that they had that specific game, because we had other games. We had Street Fighter and Super Mario World, But cool spot. I never heard anybody play it, see it at anybody else's house, and I felt like, okay, this is probably like a one of a kind game. Nobody else has this game. I'm pretty sure my grandma has it somewhere in her, her attic or something like that. Maybe one day I'll just go over and pay her a visit and say like, hey, can I check out the closet? Can I check out the attic? But that was my childhood favorite Super Nintendo game. Um, what?
Start mining for gold. Start mining for gold. It's in there somewhere. It's in the attic or it's in the garage. It's somewhere. It's
What
there.
what did you have? Do you have a favorite like Super Nintendo or even like NES?
Yeah.
I don't know
Oh
what you
my
grew up with.
goodness. I grew up with both, but I will say that my NES collection is nil. I was very, very young when I had the NES, so I was kind of given what I was given for the NES, or it already came with the console. So NES, I remembered only having two major games at the time. Um, I had Super Mario Brothers, which is the first game I ever beaten or completed ever in my life, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Manhattan Project.
Ooh,
So now that was a
that's
Ninja Turtle game.
yeah.
That was a good one. It starts off on the beach every time. It's that first level from the first level is the beach, and then you go on surfing, and then you go to the ship. Um, and my parents got it for me because I was into Ninja Turtles at the time. I had all the toys and everything. So those are the two games I had for the Nintendo. And some of the fondest memories I had with Super Mario Brothers was my brother always used to do the infinite life trick for me because he would know how to do it in the World 3 with the turtles there, and he would jump right at the right time. So you keep doing the
Yeah.
like you keep doing it. He knew how to do it every time, and I would always ask him to do it so I could beat Mario because I couldn't beat on the limited lives. So Nintendo memories are small. Um, I had the Super Nintendo and Genesis. I was able to have both at the time. Somehow, some way, it was awesome. It was
I
great.
bet.
It was good. But I favored the Super Nintendo over it, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna break tradition here of unknown games because the game that I have the fondest memories with the Super Nintendo is Super Mario RPG: Legend of the Seven Stars.
Never played it.
Never played it.
Never
It
played
is
it.
it is the game that introduced me to RPGs. It is the game that introduced. I did not get introduced by Final Fantasy or Chrono Trigger. It's Super Mario RPG. And I'll tell you this, when I bought it or when I rented this first. I had no clue what an RPG was. I just had it, and it was like Super Mario RPG. I'm like, okay, great, another Mario game. And then it's going through all these things about battling, and then I'm gonna jump on an enemy, but then it goes into another screen, and it's a battle screen. I'm like, what's this? Like, what like what kind of game is this? And then like it's having me input commands, and like I'm like, huh? Like, wait, I just wanted to jump on the dude like I usually do. Um, but it's this game, even though like I came into another world playing this game because I haven't played an RPG until I had this game, and it's a simplified form of an RPG. It's definitely much simpler than any Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, or anything from today. But it works so well. It works the graphics, the music, the battle mechanics. Simple attack, special, defend, um, item, run. Like real simple. You only had to dress your character in 3 items. That's it. You had a weapon, you had an outfit, you had an accessory. 5 party members. You can't switch out Mario. Okay, I get it. He's the name of the franchise, but can I at least switch him? Because I'd rather maybe use Geno there instead of Mario. But and it was also the first game to me that had Mario, Peach, and Bowser team up? What? What? Like brain exploding? Like I don't know. Like I've never seen that before. It's like they actually joining together for a cause, and um, and it's a game that holds to me because I have played and beaten that game so many times. I have deleted save files for this game so many times and gotten new items, hammers, shells, and then the hidden battle. My goodness, the name escapes me, but you face a Final Fantasy boss as a hidden battle if you do the specifications right. So you actually get some Final Fantasy music there. Um, but it holds a place to me because it introduced RPGs to me this way through Mario. And this game, um, today's standards, it's still good. You can still play it. You could probably beat it pretty. You could probably beat it pretty quick, maybe on a weekend or something. Like it's not just there's not that much high leveling. I believe 30 is the highest level that you can go like max.
It still holds up today. Like if somebody were
Oh
to
yeah,
pick it up and
dude.
it's their first RPG introduction.
Oh, heck yeah. This game is beautiful to introduce the world of RPGs to people. Because right now, I've sometimes seen some RPGs and there are so many menus and things and there's so many menus, item management, weapon management, accessory management, menus about talking, menus about everything. I'm serious. It's a lot, and of course, if you've never had an RPG experience before, or more newer to gaming overall, then it's gonna be more difficult to kind of get into right away. But Mario RPG, so good. It's there on my like. If I had my brain with annals of classic games, it would just be right there. Like it's just there forever. Like I will put it on a pedestal of like the Jesse Fergoso Hall of games that revolutionized. Um, and then also, um, I really did enjoy, since you mentioned Street Fighter a couple times, the worst thing I ever done in gaming history. I traded my Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo for
No.
a Captain America game, and I had no idea that I did that.
For Captain America?
Yes, it was an Avengers game, and it was
No.
not a good Avengers game. I don't know what I was thinking. Little Jesse probably didn't understand the logics of what he was doing, and I lost it forever.
You know that
Uh,
sucks growing up of that aspect. At the time, you don't really put so much, I guess, thought into it. You're just thinking, I gotta get something else. I gotta get a new game, and I've already played all of these, and I'm never gonna play these again. You're thinking to yourself, I'm never gonna want to play Wind Waker again, and you're thinking to yourself like, I want to play the next, best thing. And I remember having that, like, you're a kid, you don't have, of course, income unless you
mhm.
have like an allowance, but even then, it's not really, you're not really earning it day to day as an adult.
Right.
And as an adult, you probably are in a better position than you were as a kid, and you get, again, that nostalgia. You listen to podcasts like these that you're like, damn, I remember a cool spot. How much is it on eBay? Oh, $20? Yeah, I'll buy it. Like that type of stuff. And you don't think, I've so many times have I walked into a GameStop when I was like, 12, 10, whatever it is, with my uncle and or my parents, and they'd always be like, "Are you sure you're trading like 8 games for this one game?" And I'll always be like, "Yeah, I don't want to play with these anymore. I'm not gonna play Wind Waker again. I'm not gonna play Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes."
Ooh.
And you get it, and you're like, "Yeah, I got Mega Man Collection." Because that's happened to me before. I've traded multiple games. I'm like, yeah, look, it's not really like one game because it's like 8 Mega Man games, and it's on the GameCube, and I want it. But we've all been there. Luckily now, I'm more fortunate that I don't really have to sell my games. I get what I want, and I play them, and they're there. And like, it's crazy that you're talking about what was it called? Mario RPG and the
Yeah.
7 stars or something like that.
Super Mario RPG: The Legend of the Seven
There you
Stars.
go, the official title.
Yeah. I'm gonna
It
I'm gonna say it so people will look it up and get it if they want. I'll say it again. Super Mario RPG: Legend of the Seven Stars. Dun dun.
It's crazy that I just finished, Mass Effect 2, one of my favorite games of all time, of how good it was. And that's kind of like a complicated RPG in a way, because I was like, okay, what's this menu? What is this? And even from Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 2, there was a huge shift in gameplay. It felt like they simplified it a bit. And like you said, RPGs today, they're so complicated sometimes. There's so many different mechanics that even sometimes 5 hours in, there's a tutorial for something because you're still learning something. And back then, Super Nintendo, playing, what's the title again, Jesse, for everyone?
Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars.
Is so simple. Like you said, it may be like a really good entry point to people playing RPGs. For me, my first RPG wasn't even a Final Fantasy game. It wasn't a Dragon Quest game, even though I probably would have loved those to be my first ones. But it was Pokemon, and that's probably a lot of people's first RPG. It's Pokemon,
Oh.
and I remember the first one that I played, Pokemon Red, and I had moved to a new school, third grader, and I moved to a new school, new city. I came from Bell. If people don't know, the city of Bell in California, it's not the best place. It's not the nicest area, I guess. So I moved there to Norwalk, a city, Norwalk, and it was nicer neighborhoods and stuff like that. And I got to the school, and everybody's like, "Oh, my favorite Pokemon is Pikachu, and my favorite is Charmander." I'm like, What are these kids talking about? What is a Pikachu, and why did someone sneeze?" And I learned Pokemon, and I got my first copy. I traded like 3 games to this kid, this classmate of mine, and Pokemon Red was my first RPG. Pokemon Red was my first introduction to leveling up and stats and different, I guess in this case, characters, monsters to battle. What was your first Pokemon?
Oh, I am quite the opposite, sir. I am the cool blue. My first Pokemon was Pokemon Blue. Mine is the opposite of that. Pokemon Blue was my first my first foray into the Pokemon world.
Did you choose like a Squirtle because that was on the cover?
Yes. How do you know? How do you know? And also turtles and water cannons were cool at the time.
Yeah, but dragons have always been
Blastoise.
cool, dude.
He wasn't a dragon type in the first game. Okay, they didn't put it on. He just looked like a dragon at the time. But Pokemon Blue was my first Pokemon game. It was same here. Like everyone just had it, and that was a Game Boy surgence. Like Game Boys were now starting to sell like hotcakes at that time. And middle school, everyone had it, except nobody had a link cable to trade nothing. No one ever had the link cable, and then you have those certain Pokemon that you have to trade to evolve. So basically, you're never getting an Alakazam or you're never getting a Gengar because you don't have a cable to trade.
And then you either had a Vulpix or a Growlithe.
Oh,
There
that's
was
right.
there
You
were
had
specific
yeah,
ones.
that's right. That's the reason why they split it up into 2 games. Nintendo again with that marketing, they are very good. They
But
split it
even
up.
then, you needed like three
It,
games
right.
because of
Wait, three
Eevee.
three games. Oh, that's right. Oh, you have to trade. You have to trade another Eevee from someone else, or you could just straight up get the evolution that you needed. Like if someone's like, "Hey, just give me a Jolteon," and
Yeah,
give me a Flareon, you could do that too, or you can level it up yourself. Yeah, you needed 3 other people to do that. So if you were a Pokemon fan by yourself and you're trying to complete the Pokedex, good luck. You're gonna need 2 Game Boys, a link cable, and both versions of the game to complete the Pokedex.
I never completed the Pokédex on the original one until I think I want to say like 4 years ago. There was 4 or 5 years ago. There was the anniversary, the 20th anniversary of Pokemon, and they released the 3DS Pokemon Edition, which that's the 3DS that I currently have and still own. Um, but they released also with the Pokemon games, and I blasted through it, dude. It took me 3 days nonstop, and I was able to get all the Pokemon. Mind you, I had Josh also with me to trade certain
Nice.
Pokemon to get Gengar and Alakazam. But yeah, I remember those days like in the playground, sharing tips and rumors and supposed cheats like how to get Mew by pushing the truck. You had to use strength on the truck near the SSN and all this stuff, but it was all debunked that you couldn't get Mew like that. Uh, there was the myths of Pika going leading up to Gold and Silver. It was crazy times. What was like the craziest rumor that you remember, like from any Pokemon game, from Pokemon, the first ones and Gold and Silver?
Well, the Mew one was also the one that was the most interesting at the time. But then the other one was the Missingno Glitch, which was how you get like unlimited rare candies and unlimited of whatever items you wanted. It was a trick that you went to Cinnabar Island. I forgot how the entire glitch goes, but you had to surf along the edge of the island up and down, and you had to fight this mysterious Pokemon that was basically just a bunch of garbled up pixels.
Yeah.
And but if you caught this Pokemon, then you're gonna mess up your game because if you caught the Pokemon, it's gonna mess up everything about the game. So you're not supposed to catch it; you're just supposed to beat it. And then it just like it multiplies. I believe it was the seventh item on your list.
Yeah.
Not 100% sure if I'm right or wrong on that one, but it multiplied that. Which how you got easy level 100s of every Pokemon, and you basically bypassed everything because you're basically just shoving candy down the Pokemon's throat to get to level 100 and level up and everything. Um, but I didn't do too many rumor mills in that one. I was just enjoying the game itself. Even basically the end of the game is catching Mewtwo because that's basically the most powerful Pokemon in the whole game. Once you catch Mewtwo, there's nothing else to do in the game.
Yeah.
I completed the Pokedex one time on an original game because I actually did find a person
Damn.
with a link cable. And, but I found gold at some point. It was impossible to find, but I did, and I had the little piece of paper saying that you caught everything. I was like, man, that was an accomplishment at that time.
Dude,
Was this
I kind of want to do that now.
get some link cables, baby, and let's find get some Game Boys, get some link cables. Let's go.
I got
Let's
the
set it
original
up.
copies too. I got a Game Boy. I got a link cable, and I got red and yellow.
I gotta hit up. I gotta go to Frankensons and gotta get me a copy of. Gotta get me an old Game Boy again. Gotta find me a Game Boy right there to do this. Was Red and Blue? They're both almost the same game as Pokemon, but was Red and Blue your favorite Pokemon game out of all of them?
No. So my favorite game for the longest time was Yellow. Even with Gold and Silver releasing, but ultimately, I'd probably say it goes to the DS versions of Soul Silver and Heart Gold, more specifically Soul Silver. I feel like those games are the most complete Pokemon games ever made, in terms of
Ooh.
content, in terms of what you can do after beating the Elite Four, because there's so much more to do. Like, even beating the Elite Four, you go back to Kanto and defeat eight more gym leaders, like Brock and Misty and all of them. You still beat them, and then even after, you go and fight Red from the original game, and he has like all these souped up, Pikachu level 82 or something, and Snorlax, and depending on your Eevee, he'll have Umbreon or Espeon. But Soul Silver is my favorite Pokemon game to date. Nothing surpassed it. There's been other ones that have come close. I loved Pokemon Black and Pokemon Diamond, more so Platinum, but there've been pretty good ones. Uh, but not recently. I didn't really enjoy Pokemon Shield or Sword, and then Pokemon. I guess for me the last good one that I liked was the remake of the Hoenn region, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Those were really cool. Do you have one or two favorites?
Wow. Now that you just said that, I'm very interesting that you just said that again because my favorite so far of all the Pokemon games is also a remake, but Alpha Sapphire.
Yeah,
That game is so good. Like as far as Pokemon games are concerned. Um, I love all the remakes that are re-released. Fire Red, Leaf Green, Soul Silver, Heart Gold, Omega Ruby, Alpha
Roofy,
Sapphire.
Mega
Excuse me.
Roofy.
Sorry, Omega Ruby. Pardon me.
Just kidding.
I was just saying. Sorry, that was a slip of the tongue there on the word, but it was the remakes are some of the best things to happen for the Pokemon games, and Alpha Sapphire is one that I played from beginning to end, absorbed in again. Because I have a very back and forth relationship with the Pokemon games. It started with Blue. I kind of skipped over Generation 2 because I wasn't playing my Game Boy as much. But
Hmm.
then I played the original Sapphire. Um, and then I also skipped on 4 and 5 at the time. And Gen 6, the X and Y, was the one that brought me back into Pokemon. It kind of rekindled my love of Pokemon again, and that was when it was first starting to become full 3D action. Like it's full, everything is happening now in full 3D. No more like pictures or anything.
No
Like the battles are
sprites.
happening. Yeah, no sprites. It's happening all in full 3D. All the captures, all the battle mechanics, and then they used that same idea for the Gen 3 remakes. And my goodness, that's the game that I went back to, and I was laying in bed just playing that game over and over again. All the trainers, all the classic Pokemon at that time, the new Mega evolutions that were coming in, um, and then right now for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, I would definitely say pick that up if you want the definitive Gen 3 experience. Um, the Gen 2 remakes are also fantastic, as if you have just mentioned. But one tip of advice on any remakes or anything coming out, please get them as close to you can when they come out, because if you do not, they're gonna start costing several $100s
Yeah,
for one copy because they don't make these anymore, and there's no digital re-releases, so they're gonna cost a pretty penny.
those Soul Silver and Heart Golds, they're like $200. They begin like at 120, 140 if you find them somewhere locally, like just the cartridge. But if you're looking for a complete inbox, you're looking at $200 minimum, and usually at the $200 mark, something's missing. Like there's no manual, or there's no, the box may be chewed up by someone. I don't know, but uh, yeah, those games shot up in price recently, and even with like pretty much anything. Like even though Mega Rubies and Alpha Sapphires, those shot up. I actually like those. Like I said, those, I think those were my last favorite Pokemon games that I actually enjoyed. They also added like an extra ending to it that had to deal with Rayquaza, which was really cool. One of my favorite dragon types in the games. But I liked what they did with Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire in terms of,
Primal
huh?
the primals were the primal reversion of
Yes.
legendary Groudon and Kyogre. The primal reversions. It basically made them the most broken Pokemons in the game. It made them the most. They're used in competitive battles all the time. I know this because I watch a YouTube channel called False Swipe Gaming. They always have these videos about how good a Pokemon was in the competitive scene, because there's a whole nother world besides us having fun with the Pokemon games,
Yeah.
and there's another world where they compete and for prize money, and they're training frivolously with these Pokemon. So you see how well it did, but those two legendaries were usually on almost every team when they were announced. Like Primal Groudon, especially, it was the boss of bosses in that game.
Yeah,
It was
and I
it
know it's marketing, but because all the other ones were like Mega Charizard and Mega Tyranitar, but something about just calling them Primal, Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre, that sounded like these guys mean business. Do not mess with these two. I loved it. I love the extra added story content that they put for this game, which also puts us into what Nintendo recently announced for the upcoming Pokemon games. There's three Pokemon games coming out. Uh, the first two that come out this year, I believe November 19th of this year is going to be for what are they called? Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Uh,
correct, sir. But Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, coming out November 19th.
I'm
Oh,
really excited.
guess what we're getting? We're getting remakes again.
It's about
Yes.
that time. Even though they did hint at them way back, I think during the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, there was hints of this remake coming out as well. But it's finally coming out. Uh, do you know which
This
copy you're getting?
Oh, I am getting Brilliant Diamond because I want Dialga. I want that steel dragon.
That's what I'm going for too.
I also want because I look everything up, of course. I also do want Scyther and Scizor, and I also want Tyranitar. So you gotta have Brilliant Diamond for that one.
Oh, really? Okay, I haven't checked out
Yeah,
the list yet, but Scizor and Tyranitar are two of my favorite Pokemon.
they are gonna be. So that means you have chosen wisely, sir. You're getting the right one. You can also get Aggron on that one too. You also get the Poochyena Mightyena line,
Okay.
and then if you get Shining Pearl, you get yourself a Slowpoke up to Slowbro and Slowking. You get your Pincers over there. You get your Houndooms. You
Oh, I
get
like
your
Houndoom.
you like Houndoom, Mhm.
Yeah.
And I can't trade you either because I'm also getting Diamond. And you also get your Walreins. You have to get Pearl if you want Salamence.
Oh, that's right.
And then of course the legendary Water Dragon Palkia is going to be in the Pearl one, of course. That they're the main title one. Um, but yeah, again, I saw the trailers this week, and it was announced back in February as well, so it's not so new. Like
Yeah,
no
it's
one
not
would,
shocking news.
yeah, not shocking news, but we finally got to see like footage again, and the footage is just showing up to be, uh, it's just another remake coming on its way. I cannot wait to see what continuing battle mechanics and continuing things are going to keep going on. Seeing the classic Pokemon of that era, it's most likely going to be the definitive version of Gen 4 again, instead of having to get an old Gen 4. Unless you want to really relive the
I
experience,
don't
it's
know. I
you
don't
don't think
know.
so?
I don't know because the footage that they showed, they did show a lot of the stuff that was in the original, like when you had to go underground and mine for diamonds and gems and stuff like that. And they also had one of my favorite mechanics. I know it sounds dumb, but adding stars and all this stuff to your Pokeball on a specific Pokeball so that when a Pokemon comes out, those effects come out too. So a lot of the times I would use like flame effects and attach them onto the Pokeball. They're stickers. And let's say you
Oh,
release Charizard, well, Charizard will come out with flames coming out of the Pokeball, which was really cool. I used, Haunter. Haunter's my favorite Pokemon ever. And I'd throw out Haunter, and it would be like smoke, a bunch of smoke coming out as he was released from the Pokeball. So they have a lot of stuff that they're bringing back, but I think it's gonna be played like what was the remakes from the Switch? Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, where
oh yeah.
you just catch the Pokemon. I didn't see much battling from a wild Pokemon versus your own Pokemon. I saw battling between trainers,
Hmm.
But I think they're gonna continue that aspect of, oh no, like it's like Pokemon Go where you encounter a Pokemon and you just throw the Pokeball.
Oh no, I really hope that's not the case. I really hope that isn't. I really want to have the original battling and everything. Come on, guys, don't do this again. Let's go
See, I
Pikachu. Let's
don't
go
know.
Eevee. Was We don't know yet. It's coming out. It's coming out. But I still think because it's an homage to the original, they should keep the battle mechanic, right?
They didn't do that with Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee. That one they straight up did like a Pokemon Go mechanic, and you just caught the Pokemon, and that's how you would level up your Pokemon, by catching Pokemon, and then you'd only battle trainers and gym leaders and stuff like that. But wild Pokemon you weren't battling, and I didn't see that here. I didn't see that in the trailer.
Well, that's gonna put a hamper on some on how my love of this game on it because I really would like to battle the wild Pokemon like I used to. I mean, I'm still gonna get it regardless. I'll
Yeah,
see
we're still gonna
how it
get
is.
it.
Yeah, we're still gonna get it, but I mean, hey, if I gotta try it in a new experience, I'll try it in a new experience.
I liked it still. The Let's Go Pikachu. It was a good mechanic, and I could see what they were trying to do. They're trying to get people to get used to that, and go onto Pokemon Go, or people who are playing Pokemon Go to come onto the actual handheld games and be like, oh, this is just like the game I play on the phone. But I'm still gonna buy it. I'm still excited if it's like the original where you're fighting even the wild Pokemon, and you have to like drain their HP and then catch them.
Mhm.
That's just gonna make it even better. If it's not, then hey, we still got Diamond and Pearl on the Switch, and it doesn't cost us $80, $100
Yes,
to
it
find.
will though. You gotta get it soon. This goes back to my earlier statement. You gotta get it now if you really want it on the best price if you can.
Yeah, and those are two that are coming out this year, but the one that's coming out on January 28th of next year is an actual new Pokemon game. It's not a remaster or a port or anything, and it's Pokemon Legends Arceus, or that's how you say it, right? Arceus,
I believe it's pronounced Arceus.
Arceus.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
well, I'm Mexican, so I'll say Arceus. Uh,
No worries.
just kidding.
No worries.
Arceus. Yeah, that one's coming out next year. That one is very interesting because it's a new game. It's not really. It takes place like hundreds of years ago, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken.
It's definitely taken a place in the past where Pokemon were more free at the time, or more frequent, I guess. They still throw Pokeballs and they still catch them like in the same manner. Um, but the difference with this game, and I really like again Nintendo on the planning again. They're releasing the remakes of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, but also this game coming out, the new one is also based on Sinnoh in the past. So they kind of tied it together.
Oh,
Uh,
I didn't
they
know that part.
Yeah, they tied it together. So this is a Sinnoh in the past, many, many years ago. And the difference is with this game, from what I heard, Breath of the Wild of Pokemon. So I don't know to what extent that will be, but maybe this will be like one of those games where you can just challenge the gyms in any order you want, or are there even going to be gyms? But there's probably like an end game. Maybe you can train yourself until you feel maybe the Pokemon League will already be available from the get go, and you can go to it if you want. But maybe if you have some underleveled Pokemon, like you ain't gonna last. Which is just an awesome concept. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, they showed different Pokemon that we've already known for years. Like they showed a Growlithe, a new version of Growlithe with a bunch of fur covering
Mhm.
his eyes. They showed a new Stantler evolution. I think it's an evolution. Uh,
Let's let me just double check that. I did see that the new looking Stantler. The or actually it's a new Pokemon. According to the actual website,
oh, a new Pokemon
it's
entirely.
yeah, it's called Wire Deer.
Oh, there you go. It
Yeah,
looked a lot like Stantler though.
it did. I immediately thought that too. So I don't blame you for thinking that. I immediately thought at the same time, Stantler is getting a new version, and I know I'm probably gonna butcher the name here, but it's a new regional format, like how the other Pokemon's had the Alolan versions
Yeah.
or the Galarian version. So this one is called the Hisuian Growlithe. And there's
Okay.
also a Hisuian Braviary. So new new Pokemon region. So Growlithe and Braviary are the only two that I see that have a full new version. And Arceus is the only legendary I'm seeing. And the very interesting thing they're doing with the starters, they actually just got a couple starters from different games and just put it together. So they're using Rowlet, which is the Gen 7, the Alolan starter, grass starter. They're busting out with Cyndaquil as your fire starter, and then Oshawott from Gen 5 as your water starter.
Oh my God, they're just
So all over, they just copy and paste like let's see what classic Pokemons we like. They probably most likely pick the favorites of that generation. I'm just guessing. Not saying this is, but I'm guessing.
yeah. I'll be picking Cyndaquil.
Oh, there you go. Dang, Rowlet, Oshawott looking good there too. Because I know Rowlet turns into like a Robin Hood looking Pokemon.
Yeah.
Um, but Oshawott, well, I never owned I never owned Gen 5 myself. Actually, maybe I might be going to Cyndaquil too, because I would want a Typhlosion
Yeah.
on my team. That Typhlosion is always great there. But yeah, this whole new Pokemon game is coming out, and some interesting news I found about it too, that the development teams actually changed um, for the remakes and for this game in particular. So the game company that we've always known to make these games, the one known as Game Freak, they are handling the Legends game. Um, the remake was actually handed to another studio, ILCA. It's a whole new team, so not Game Freak, which
Oh, crazy! I didn't know that.
at first I thought Game Freak was handling like everything, but the Legends game is such a huge task. They have to hand it off to another company that they trust to make it even happen. So I understand why they did that. That was an interesting thing too, because we always know Game Freak, Game Freak, Game Freak, Game
Yeah.
Freak as the one that did it. Um, but yeah, I'm hoping to see what these two new one re-release, but we're gonna call it new because they're gonna release it. We're gonna see how these two new games are gonna handle themselves.
I actually like that idea because it gives us in total three new Pokemon games within 2 months, and it kind of gives the reins of a Pokemon entry to a new developer. Maybe they get used to it, or they understand the mechanics more, or how to make a Pokemon game, and maybe we get. I know Pokemon has been done to death, and there's like 30 Pokemon games, but maybe like okay, we got a remaster of this one. Why don't you guys start working on ports of the previous ones, or work on a different type of Pokemon game that you may
Yeah.
think that is good. Like we haven't had a Pokemon trading card game in a long time on Switch, and I remember playing that on Game Boy, and that was awesome at the time because I didn't have to buy card packs just to get Charizard. But I like that
Right?
idea. I like that idea, and it's three new Pokemon games. I honestly thought that this Legends Arceus, you may even be making the gyms and the Elite Four. I thought looking at the footage, and it takes place, years ago, hundreds of years ago. I thought maybe your character is the one who's like meeting people and then setting up the gyms himself, um, and then creating the Elite Four, which could be like an actual, I guess, ritual at the time. But then it ends up being just like, oh no, this is the Elite Four in order to become the champion of that region. But we'll find out more. I'm assuming we're still like maybe what, like 5 months away from it, so
Oh
still
yeah,
plenty
new
of
footage and
time.
stuff.
But I'm definitely excited for all three. I'll be picking up a diamond version since I played the Diamond version before, and then Legends. Arceus looks really cool. Uh, it's just Pokemon, man. I haven't been really excited for any Pokemon game for a while. Sword and Shield was my last game. It was a struggle just to beat it, just because I was not into the story. But yeah, those three, look out for those, because they'll probably be the biggest thing on Switch for a while.
Oh man, did you happen to see what the redesigned Switch looked like with like the dark gray one with the legendary paintings on the back?
Oh, for the Diamond and Pearl, the Switch Lite.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, it's on the Switch Lite. I wish it was.
I know,
I
right?
wish it was on the new Switch, the OLED. I'm getting the OLED version.
Nintendo, why you put it on a Switch Lite? Why you do this?
Because they
Why can't?
know, they
why can't-
know.
Come on, Nintendo. Either you drop the ball or you really want to sell that light really badly.
Yeah,
Look,
that one looks cool, but I'll be skipping that one. I'm getting the Switch OLED. I play more handheld, so I'll be taking more advantage of the actual screen. Um,
yes.
but yeah, I did see that one. That one does look sick. I actually do like them when they're black. I don't like the gray. Like last time they did gray with blue and red. For the Sword and Shield. I didn't like that one so much, but black. I remember the last Nintendo handheld that I wanted that was Pokemon, which was the one with Charizard on it. But that thing sold out so quick.
It was gone like every time you try to get it.
Yeah, and now you can find it on eBay for a measly, $900.
Oh, of course, of course. Let me just get my wallet out right now and just make this purchase. Like what? Let me. Pokemon games right now. The trading cards and games are just going through the roof on prices. Oh, I never actually mentioned it. My bad. Gyarados is my favorite Pokemon of all time.
Oh, Gyarados. Damn,
The
so we
serpent, the
both have
serpentine
Gen 1.
Pokemon. Oh yeah, dude. Gyarados was the boss at that time, and you level if you were so patient with your Magikarp, you level that baby up. You are going to be rewarded. It's one of those best patience pays advices in a Pokemon game because if you leveled up your Magikarp, it turns into this awesome beast of a Hydra looking powerful Pokemon that will pretty much carry you through the rest of the game. Except don't play against any electric types because they'll kill you in one shot. Unfortunately.
I remember first playing that, and I didn't know about Magikarp. I bought Magikarp from that one guy,
Yep.
and he didn't do anything. And I was like, okay, maybe level 10 he'll do something. Nope. Maybe level 15. Nope. All right, you're going in the box.
You were
And
5 levels
I
away.
know I didn't know that. And as a kid, you're not patient.
I
And
know.
I went through the Elite Four, and I saw Gyarados for the first time, and I was like, "What is that monstrosity? What is that?" I didn't know what it was. I did not know until, I have Pikachu in front of me, and I'm like, okay, let's use Thunder. But my Pikachu for some reason was like slow, and he used Hydro Pump and killed it. I'm like, whoa, no, I underestimated this dude. And
Watch.
after I beat him and I checked the Pokédex, I'm like, where's he at? Where's he at? And it's like right after Magikarp. I'm like, no. And then I asked my friends at school, and they're like, yeah, he levels up at 20. I'm like, no.
And you put him away in the box. How dare you? How dare
Yeah,
how
so
dare
he's
you?
a staple now for my Gen 1 team. If I'm playing Pokemon Red and I pick Charmander, he's my go-to for water type.
There we go. There we go. Okay. Now you learned.
But Haunter's
Yeah.
always there. I don't evolve Haunter. At least not my main.
Oh, there you go. I don't blame you. Kadabra is actually pretty dang good too. You didn't even have to evolve to an Alakazam if you really didn't want to. Kadabra could handle a lot.
Yeah. But
And
Haunter's always my team of Pokemon, and he's always been my favorite. It's Haunter.
Remember, remember the anime back then? Haunter,
Yes.
Ghastly, and then the
I think
Gengar.
that's why I love Haunter so much, because he was just messing around with people. He just didn't care. He he he,
He's
he
licking
literally killed
faces.
Ash,
Yep.
and Ash was cool with it. I'm like, damn. Like
he, pulled, he pulled his soul out of his body and
yes.
Pikachu. And I was like, so if you see it as a kid, you're like, oh, it's a cool ghost. But if you see it today, he killed him
Hmm.
right there. So actually, Ash was dead for a moment in
Yeah, he
Pokemon.
multiple times, but that's for a different episode. But yeah,
Ah,
Haunter's my favorite. I just like his design, his floating hands, his you know sinister laugh and smile. I just always liked that Pokemon from the get go.
yeah, buddy. Now I'll be hydro pumping away with my Gyarados. 4 days.
Well, that's our episode for this week. Um,
Yeah, a lot of retro stuff, a lot of retro news, a lot of bringbacks and classics. What a great day today. This is a great gaming day again, as it always is.
Retro never dies, dude. That's what I've
Nope.
noticed. That like you said, you got that Quake announcement, the update on your PC out of nowhere, and you know a lot of people still want to reminisce and play the old stuff. Who's to say next week we get a shadow drop of Cool Spot or something old comes back. Who's to say that next week Mario, Super Mario Legend of the Seven Stars gets gets put on the Switch. You know.
Oh my God, yes. I actually don't know if it's on the. I haven't seen the SNES online library again just recently. I know they put all the Donkey Kong games in there now, but
Yeah.
like,
I don't
come
know it's
on.
on there either, but like I said, it you don't we don't know. We don't know when something from the past is gonna come back, and it's brand new to people,
Mhm.
and brings in a new audience, and the old audience is all there for it. You got excited and hyped for Quake. We're both excited for the re-release of Diamond and Pearl. Um, a
Yep.
lot of stuff that's old, it just comes back, and it gets a new lease on life. It gets an expanded audience, and who knows, after this month, if there's new Quake, uh, enjoyers, new Quake fans. I'm gonna be trying that out this week since it's on Game Pass. Um,
Yep. Yep.
I'll play it, see how it is. I mean, it looks like Doom, but maybe more chaotic. I didn't know that there was a campaign to it, so I'll be
Oh
playing the
yeah.
campaign. Uh, but
Oh,
yeah,
you'll be enjoying it, my friend. You'll be enjoying it.
download Quake. It's free on Game Pass. It's included in Game Pass. Game Pass isn't free, but it's included in Game Pass. It's
Hmm.
$10, I think, elsewhere on Switch, on PlayStation, and on PC. Um, and apparently, if you already own it, you just get the update on PC.
Yes, if you already own it on the Steam version, it comes as an update, so you're good to go there. Your 50 again, like for your 55 megabyte file will turn into a 2 gig file. Yeah, it's gonna
Huge
change the
update.
file altogether. It's gonna be a huge update. But no, other than that, guys, enjoy all the retros that you can, guys. Learn where your games came from. Learn where a lot of ideas and everything came by. Um, and it's awesome. It's just a beautiful thing. It's just a beautiful thing to see where everything came from and where we go from there, where everything else goes after that.
Yeah, and for those who have made it all the way to our podcast through, let us know in the comment section. Either what's your favorite Pokemon game, your favorite Pokemon, or maybe even what's your favorite Super Nintendo game. I know many of you guys have at least one answer to those.
Or if you have a Quake memory, have a Quake memory up
there you
there.
go.
Anything you like there. You can even talk about Doom. I love Doom, so you can talk about that too.
Or Metal Gear.
But
That's my Metal Gear plugin for
we're
this episode.
oh, there you go. Hey, wait a minute. I didn't mean to plug it in. I just said it. I just said it. But anyways, guys, we love to see and hear. We love to see the comments from you guys. We appreciate you guys so much for listening through our podcast, and I hope if you made it all the way to the end right here, thank you so very much, everybody. It's always a pleasure to do this every week along with you, McQuack. I love you, man.
Love you too, man. And that's our podcast. Thank you again for listening in, and we'll see you on episode 4. Later, you guys.
Peace.